Hello everyone, it's Barb for Drama Free Friday. Yes indeed, Drama Free Friday. Welcome to my world. We need some drama free, don't we? We certainly do. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hello Nancy, boy, it's good to see your name in the chat. Hey Dorothy. It's good to see your names popping up in the chat. I've missed you guys. I miss you guys. I do. So, got my notes here so I don't forget anything. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Hi, Bren. Cindy, Miss Allie. Hey, Vicky. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Azure Muse. Azure Muse, why do I always forget your name? Why do I always forget your name? I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure it's the right name. Let's see. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. But I can't find it. There it is. Diane. Holy mackerel. Why can't I just remember that? So anyway, it's great to have you here. Hey, Tori and Melody. Hey, Ina. Good to see your name pop up in that chat. Haven't seen you for a while either. I've seen some names that I haven't seen for a while. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Shelly. Patty. Oh, you guys. Thanks. Hey, Zandra. Hi, Phil. Fast Quilter. Sandy. No, do I have you on my list? I'm going to stick you on here just in case. Hey, Linda. Patricia. Braddy Patty. Kimberly. Glad you're here. Glad you could join us. Yeah, just don't call you late for dinner. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, that's true, Vicky. But, you know, I don't mind the screen names. It challenges my brain, makes me think. It's never a bad thing. You missed me on Fridays, Shelly? Shelly is Crafting Mamas. Shelly has a YouTube channel. I'm sure there's lots of people in this list that have YouTube channels. Shelly's the one that springs to mind. Yeah, I'm here once a month. Hey, Beck. New glasses. Yes, I got new glasses a while ago. Hey, Marion. Probably since you saw me. I have 2 pairs of glasses. These are my computer glasses. I got 2 new pairs of glasses all at the same time. I was spoiled rotten. I needed them. I hadn't been to the eye doctor in 10 years. Did that tell you anything? Does that tell you anything about what the last 10 years have been like? Crazy. They went just like this. Whoosh. Just like that. You like my pen? Every once in a while, she's got this wild beaded wire and beaded hair. And every once in a while, she loses a leg. So far, I've always found them. But she's got a palette in one hand and a brush in the other. I don't remember where I bought this. It was someplace here in the town where I live. But when I found it, they had all these different pins, you know, with different occupations and things. And I'm like, oh, I just love these so much. And so this is the one I bought. This is the one I got. Hi, Bonnie, Eva. I'm just noticing some names here. If I miss saying hello to you, please know that I'm very glad you're here. In case you're brand new, my name is Barb Owen of HowToGetCreative.com. We are a membership website. We have tons of creative arts classes going on there. We're into season 5 right at the moment. I'm rolling out some preseason classes, and our regular classes will be rolling out here shortly. So it's a good time to join if you would like to. So you can head over to HowToGetCreative.com and check us out. Tori had a teacher pin like this. Cool. Hey, Sherry Spats. Good to see you. Boy, it's nice to have you guys here. So let's see. We have a lot to talk about today. You know, when I I stream the first Friday of every month. I used to stream every Friday, but now I stream the first Friday of the month. And so that means a lot of stuff gets put in the stack for you guys during the month. So anyway, so we got a lot to talk about. But first of all, I just want to say welcome. I'm just so happy that you're here. Hello, May. I'm just so happy that you're here, and thank you for joining me on this Friday afternoon. We do this at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the first Friday of the month, whatever date that happens to be. It could be the 1st, it could be the 7th, or whatever. So just mark your calendars. Speaking of marking your calendars, 2 really important things. Let's see. I got to get the date here. Hang on a minute. I got to look at my calendar, which is on the floor. Yeah, when you're getting ready for this stuff, things hit the floor and, you know, all of that. Okay, April 6th. Mark your calendars for April the 6th. Let me double check and make sure that that's right. That is the first Friday of April. Yep. And Seth Apter is going to join me that day. Those of you that watched our coverage from Creativation will have seen our, he was really gracious and did several demonstrations and let us film him, which was really nice. And he is a great guy, super artist, and so he's going to join me the first Friday of April. So mark your calendars. Yeah. Hey, Claus Man. Hello, Bella Nailed It. Yeah, so Seth is going to be here that Friday, and I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, but the last time we did a creative chat, which was about a year ago, we did sort of an interview style thing and learned a little bit more about Seth and his art. I'm hoping that this time we're going to learn more about the products that he's developed, particularly the embossing powders from Emerald Creek, and more about the paper artsy paint that he, you know, his color palette and so forth. So that's kind of the plan. So we'll see where that goes, but that's what's going to happen the first Friday of April if everything goes the way it's supposed to. Hello, Dar, Christine, and anybody I missed. Hey, CB, I'm so glad you're here. And thanks for joining me. Hey, Vicky. We got several Vickies in the house today. Vicky Bossum, nice to see you. Okay, so that's the first Friday of April. So that's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is tomorrow is the VIP class. So all VIP members, your email has not gone out yet. I will get it out after the show today, and with your information in it. But the VIP class is tomorrow at 2 Eastern. Okay, so that will happen tomorrow. Okay. Christine says, yes, I love Seth and his art. He is a true gentleman. Loved his special tutorial from Creativation. He is absolutely one of the kindest, nicest gentlemen. He is the true epitome of gentle man. He just, and he's kind, and he loves to show people what he does. He's very sharing, and so you'd have to go a long way to find somebody that was any nicer, or truly, he is such an amazing artist. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Oh, well, I hope you're feeling better now, Miss Bella. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so let's just jump into it, shall we? One of the members, the VIP members, sent me some wonderful things, and I want to share them with you. She had everything in this package. Her name is Judy Mccarthy, and if you look in the description box below the video, if you scroll down, you're going to have to scroll down a little bit, you'll see her name and her Etsy shop. There's a link that'll take you straight over to her Etsy shop. It had a link that was about this long. You know how they do that? And so I shortened it down. So that doesn't do anything except make it easier for you guys to get there. Anyway, Judy is a talented doll maker. And she sent all of this. I mean, everything was packaged so beautifully. I put it all together in one package because it was like she had everything wrapped up so nicely. And the name of her shop is Judy's Lace Creations. So if that makes it easier for you, you can do it that way too. But anyway, everything was all wrapped up. And so I'm going to show you. She's from Australia. Hi, Atadel. Good. I'm glad that you like what we do. Hey, Jane. Hello, Michelle. Yes, somebody type in the chat that I'm on, would you? Yeah, okay, May did. Thank you. Great. Oh, no. Oh, bad news, Michelle. That's no good. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, Judy is, as I said, a very talented doll maker. You're going to have to ignore my cruddy mat back here. I keep threatening that I'm going to get a new mat for my table. So far, that's all I've done is threaten. That's all I've done is threaten. But this is the card that she sent, and I'm going to show it to you up close. But she wrote a really nice note here. I'm going to show this to you because it is so three-dimensional, you guys. So 3D. I mean, it is just stunning. This, I think, it's a copy of some kind, I believe. So she has the original artwork, but this, I think, is a copy of it. But look at the texture. Look at this. Okay? Look at all this. I just want you to see this up close and personal. Look at that. See that? Now, talk about something that's fun. A fun way to repurpose bits of this and bits of that. And Judy is masterful at this. Masterful. And her name is Judy Mccarthy. She is absolutely I'm not kidding. There's no other word. She is so good at combining all these things together, and then all these buttons are sewn on. It is just amazing. I mean, it really, really is. All right, I'm going to see if I can get you in closer even. Okay, look at the face. Complete with glasses and little tiny scissors. I don't know what this texture comes from back here, so I don't know what that is. And she's in our time zones are so radically different that she never gets to join any of the live things. But look at all that texture, guys. And the stitching and the colors. Her color sense is wonderful too. So I'm just going to give you a good long look at that. Yeah. But isn't that something? And that's just the card, people. That's just the card. Hi, Shu. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you for a while either. Well, I haven't seen anybody for a while, so it's great to have you guys here. Each and every one of you. And then she sent this tag. So I think she had been putting things together for a while. And then, of course, it took a long time from Australia to get here. So she created a tag and little notes with everything, which is so sweet. And then I put everything in this one bag. The bag had something special in it, and I don't remember exactly which. But look at this. She didn't even forget the sponsors. 2 Meows even. She didn't even forget the sponsors. I know, Barbara. It is playful with all the wild threads. So she didn't make this, I don't believe, but and it even has a velvet fish. But isn't that cute? That's adorable. I have to keep that away from the sponsors because if I don't, it gets to be problematic. Okay, so she sent me a bookmark that she made. This is a nice long bookmark. Let's see. Let me tell you how long it is. It is 9 3/4 inches. So this is great for a big book. Some of my art books and creative books, this is going to be perfect to put in that. Hello, Malia. I hope I'm saying your name right. Isn't that neat? Again, lots of texture. She said that she shops at, I think it's a couple of thrift stores or something like that, and she buys a lot of saris and silk scarves and things like that. And, hey, Marion, if I didn't say hello to you, I just saw your name again. I don't know if I said hi to you or not. And then all these wonderful fibers that she's included in the top of the bookmark. But she buys a lot of things from the stores that she recycles the fabrics from and stuff in her artwork. Okay, so this is one of the things that I believe she sells in her shop, these kits for different things. So this is the Psoas Broach Kit with all the little buttons and the trims and all that. And then there is the artwork, the same artwork that was on the card, except it's a smaller version. And then, you know, you can decorate it and make it a pin. It would be great to wear on a coat. So even though, let's see, let's go back to, where did I put that? Here it is, the card. So they're different. You know, it's a little bit different than the other one. The scissors are in a different place. The tape measure is different. The hairstyle is different. So even though it's similar, it's still unique. Oh, well, good, Marion. I did. Okay. Her name is Judy McCarthy. If you scroll down in the description box below the video, you'll see her name and a link to her Etsy shop. Here. So that'll give you more. But it's Judy McCarthy, MC capital C-A-R-T-H-Y, I believe. So she sent me one of her kits, which honestly I may just use the girl on something and put all the little doohickeys on something else. I don't know. It just depends on when I get around to it. And then she sent this. Look at this little thank you. So I'll put that on my Christmas tree. But that's cross-stitched. Oh, we have two Marions here. Hello, Marion 1 and Marion 2. It's nice to have you both here. And then this is one of the fabric art brooches, and it's all finished. Let me get it out where you can see it. It took forever for this to arrive here in the United States. So this is one of her brooches that is all done. So you can see the fabric art brooch. So this is one she's finished that has, I mean, even the way she displays them on the paper, you know, it's a cardstock, more scissors, sewing machine. She knows how much I love to sew and combine paper and fabric. So, yeah. But isn't that cute? Hello, Carla. Wonderful to have everyone joining us. So I just wanted you to see it. But they're not tiny. They're good for a blazer or a coat. Or I love to put things like this up in my room to inspire me. So from the top to the bottom of the stitched piece, it's about 4.5 inches or a little bit less from here to here. So it's got good size on it. And then all this cool fringe at the bottom. So she sent that. And then you guys, this is the most fun thing she sent. Okay, this is a needle case. And again, she does adorable faces. Adorable faces. Loads of Yeah, exactly, Bryn. She says it would be great to wear to a stitcher's meeting or special gathering. Yeah, absolutely. This has a lot of the silk scarves and things. You can, I know you guys probably can't see them, but a lot of what's in here is recycled things, and the way that she adds the fibers around the side, the edges are really neat. This looks like either silk or sari silk, like a silk scarf. It feels more like sari silk. And so let me open this up. This is a needle case, which is just such a needle cases are important. You don't want to store your needles in a pincushion because they will disappear down into a pincushion, especially if it's got much size. They'll disappear down into the pincushion, never to be returned. Okay, so here is the needle case. Okay, and so it's got felt inside, and I can just store the needles in there, and it's big enough to accommodate long doll making needles, which is great. And then she has this loop, and the loop is right here, and then you can wrap this around and tie it so it looks like a scarf. I know, isn't she cute? Judy, if you're watching, hey Jan, they're loving your stuff, loving your art. So if you're looking for anything that's even sort of along these lines, check out Judy Mccarthy's Etsy shop. Link is in the description box below the video. Okay, so that is that was one person's wonderful things that she sent. So that all came from Judy, that whole package. It was truly like Christmas. And I shot her a quick email that said, I got the package. I'm going to show everything. Hope it's okay if I do that, because I'm going to. And send me your Etsy shop link. Hello, Becky. Hey, Christy. That's my granddaughter. My granddaughter, Christy. Christy and Clausman are together. I know. It's so cute. Let's see. What else do I want to show you next? Okay. I want to give you this person I'm going to talk about does not have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. And I just want, her artwork is so phenomenal. And she was so gracious to send me some of her art so that I could share it with you. I asked her to just send me some little bits and pieces so I could share them with you. She sent me, okay, look, a letter and all of these packets, all combined. Everything is just all neatly organized. Anyway, her name is Laraine Centineo. And again, hello, Sylvia. I think that's right. Sylvia's Light and Laughter, right? Let me see. It's on here somewhere. Yep, Sylvia. I was right. Hi, Catherine. Nice to see you. I was just checking the chat. Hi, Robin. Just checking the chat for a minute. So anyway, her name is Laraine Centineo. Again, if you'll scroll down below the video, I put her links in. So there's a link to her YouTube channel, and then there's some other specific links that will take you to what I'm going to show you today. Okay? All right. So she sent me a wonderful note, which I probably can read quite a bit of it to you. Let me look here. Hang on a minute. She said, thank you for offering to show my foil papers and talk with your viewers again about my YouTube channel. Your thoughtful comments regarding my videos and your invitation has been an encouragement for me to continue to share with others. Well, it's not hard. Believe me, it is not difficult to share about her work. She says, I've enclosed 3 different styles of foil papers that represent each one of my foil papers to Dazzle Your Artwork video series. So there's 3 videos, and she sent things from each one, which I thought was really nice. On the back of each foil sample, I've written the name of the video in which I demoed that particular paper to make it easy to locate on my channel. I don't know if it's important, but I did promise a part 4 to the foil paper series, which involved doing a hands-on project using these papers, as well as other elements. But she's had some health challenges, and so she hasn't been able to do that. Okay, so you guys, I want you to check out her channel, and I want you to subscribe to her channel. Honestly, she is a fine artist, and she does, I mean, as in, you know, she went to school, fine art degree, the whole bit. And what she does is amazing. And I've only seen some of what she does. All right. Hello, Munganana Meg. Hey, Shannon. Yes. Shannon says just Lorraine's thumbnails are enough to make her subscribe. I know. Hello, Eva. I know. And Mare, it's so nice to have you guys join me. Thanks. So, part 1, foil papers to dazzle your artwork. Okay? All right. You ready for this? This arrived yesterday, and I went over to my post office box to check it because I was kind of hoping the package would be here for today. And I just sat down with a cup of coffee, and I just opened the package, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Holy moly. Okay, this is done, guys. This is done with foil, like foil from your kitchen, like aluminum foil, okay? And paper and glue and then texture. And so you guys, and then paint. You guys are going to have to go watch these videos. So this is from part 1, okay? So this is part 1. So this is in the video, the first video. So there's one. All right, here's another one. Get a load of that. I mean, she didn't, I was expecting her to send me, you know, like ATC sized pieces. No, she sent me a big, these are big samples. These are 8.5, I think it's like 8.5 by 9. This one is 5 3/4 by almost 12. But look at those. All right, I'm going to show them to you up really close because I want you to get the real, I want you to just reach out and feel these textures, people. You can feel it right through your screen. The channel and all the information is in the description box below the video. Her name is Laraine, Laraine Centineo. It's Centineo, I think, if I'm spelling it correctly. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Honestly, I'm probably going to pet them for a while. You guys do that? I feel like I should send them back to her because they're so gorgeous. Yes, so both of those are from the first video, okay? So that's from the first one. So I'm going to put these back in the envelope. That's video 1 of 3. She also does some really incredible art, creating papers with wax paper. And I'm going to show those. I pulled those out. She sent those to me a while back. So I'm going to pull those out and I'll show those to you as well. Okay, I just want to keep them kind of separated here. So that's part 1. All right, here is part 2. Okay, so this is the next video. This one uses all kinds of, she takes the foil and she scrunches it up. Okay, so here are 2 samples. So I'm going to show it to you here so you have it from a distance. I know, Eva, they are. They are. Yeah, if you just click click open my description box below the video, And then scroll down, you'll see her name down there. Okay, look at this. Look at the texture and look at the color. And you still see the foil peeking through. Now she's also used some glitter paint on here, so you get a lot just highly, highly reflective. So there's that one. Here's this one. I know, awesome is right. Awesome is right. Look at that. Yeah. Amazing. So that is from the second video. And again, she sent me such lovely big samples. Whew, beautiful. And Laraine has a sister named Jerry Bellini. So if you're familiar with Jerry Bellini, and I forgot Jerry's channel name, it's Parts for Art or something like that. Jerry and Laraine are sisters. Okay, this one is a tight fit. This is video number 3. Okay? All right. Prepare yourselves for some more yummy goodness. Here we go. Recycled Parts for Art. Thank you, Becky. That's Jerry's channel. And then Laraine is the one we're talking about here today also. Okay, so these are more of the textured papers. I'll show them to you up close here in just a second. Trying to figure out the best way to show them to you. Okay, there you go. You can get the best look at them there. But these are different than those in part 2. Okay. Yeah, Shannon says, I love Jerry. Now I love Laraine too. I know. I know. So here is this texture. But if you, I don't know if you remember from what I just showed you a second ago, but the texture is finer. This is a finer texture than what I showed you a second ago. Yeah. Barbara says that's why she knew Lorraine's name was already subscribed, because she's Jerry Bellini's sister. And this is really cool, done in this flat black. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so now you asked me what to do with these. So I'm going to show you a piece of art. She sent me several pieces of art. Foil papers to dazzle your artwork, part 3. So this is done on a piece of foam core. I don't know what the background is. I think that's something else, but I'm not positive. I'm not positive. It's so even and gorgeous. The background is perfect for this. But this is what she's used the foil paper on. Isn't that cool? All right, I'm going to show you. I can't show you the whole thing of this easily, but I just want you to be able to see some of the close-up. Looks like house siding. It might, but it's some kind. It's too thin. It's a paper of some kind. Yeah, it's a cardstock or a paper or something. So, but anyway, isn't that neat? And that's not all. Yeah, that's not all. She sent me also trying to keep myself semi-organized here. 2 greeting cards and 1 small artwork. Okay. So if you need to know how to use the papers and foils and things, here is one of her artworks. This is the foil paper back here. I know that. This looks like a kite to me, and I love kites. And I have no idea what that's made from. It's not glass, I don't believe. And there is her name, her website, and so forth, okay? But isn't it pretty? And this is about ATC sized, I think. Let's see. 2.5, yeah, by 3 3/4. So it's just a little bit over an ATC size. And it's in plastic. I didn't want to take it out of the plastic. All right, then she sent these cards that she does. And everything that she does is always so beautifully packaged, of course. But here's one of the cards created with the foil paper. So this is a greeting card. It does, doesn't it, Shannon? She said it looks like no-tan. Yeah, this one definitely has that no-tan kind of feel. You know, where you've got the opposite, you've got the piece here and here, and then this piece comes, you know, is the matching piece from that. Yeah. And this square. That Shannon, she's got a good eye. I hadn't even noticed that. I just had been admiring the art. I don't even know if no-tan is how you pronounce that. I know what it is. I just don't know how you say it for sure. But anyway, there's the card. They're done on watercolor paper with an envelope inside. But look at the texture now. I'm going to lift it up so you can see. See if you can see all that texture. So if you've got yourself a roll of aluminum foil, you too can have some fun making these kinds of beautiful things. I know, Tori. Tori says she's loving this. So here's another one. Look at the red and gold. And this one has a separate piece on the top, so that's a separate edition on the top. I'm telling you, when I wrote in the description box, I didn't know what to call this stream, so I just called it Inspiration Galore. I wasn't lying. I was not lying. So get out that aluminum foil. Watch Lorraine's videos and have some fun, people. All right, so that's all the aluminum foil papers. So let me set this all off to the side here. And then I want to take a quick second. I've shown these in the past, but it's been quite a while. She sent me some of her wax papers, and so I want to show those to you. So this is painted wax papers. You'll also find the link to these videos in the description box as well. She sent me a beautiful card. So I'm just going to get this stuff out here. I'm going to go this way first. She sent me a beautiful card that she created. Yeah, that red and gold card's very Asian looking, isn't it? So here's another one of her cards. Let me show this to you here first. So you can see that what she does is, you know, quite varied. But a lot of dimension. I don't know what kind of paint this is. It looks like it might be acrylic or a gouache, you know, like a matte gouache. A lot of dimension. I have no idea how she made the embellishment that's on there, but isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, beautiful. So that was the card that came with this. And she sent these to me several months ago, and I have shown these in the past. But I wanted to show them again. So this is painted waxed paper. Okay, this is regular old wax paper, again, from your kitchen. This is not parchment paper or deli wrap. This is like the wax paper. Let's see if I have some up here. No, I don't have any in my studio to show you, but anyway, I'm going to turn it this way. But if you had foil, if you went to the grocery store and you looked for the foil, aluminum foil, this is going to be in the same section. Delusions paint on her desk. That might have been what she used on the foil paper. That was not what she used on this. This was, because this is metallic paint that she used on here, but this is just wax paper. But that might have been what she was using on the foil papers. Okay, so this is more the wax paper right in this area. Can you see through that? That's what the wax paper looks like. So it's very translucent. And I'll give you a different view of these as well, because this camera doesn't reproduce the greens quite accurately. Here's another one. Yeah, I believe on the wax papers, I think she was just using like the regular craft paint metallics. But the cool part about it, see my hand behind it? She maintains, because of the paper, it maintains that translucency, which is really, really cool. And here is another one. And one of the things I like about what she does is that she gets she varies everything. I tend to find those colors that I like and just use them and use them and use them, you know? But she's really good about making such a variety of colors and textures and so forth. And here is one more. This is also on wax paper. But again, you can see my hand, probably see my hand behind it. And so it's not fully painted. And that way you can take advantage of the layering process and things showing up from below the surface. And then this is cellophane. So let's see, painted on this side. So this is cellophane, and I've forgotten if she took prints off of other things to get this. I kind of think that's what she did, but I can't remember. I forgot to rewatch the videos. Okay. And then this was just a piece of mat board that she sent so that it would all stay nice and straight. And then this is a card that she sent. One of her cards that I think she sells these, I believe. And this has some of the different papers that she paints and textures. But she just has such a wonderful way of putting things together, you know. So I just thought that was gorgeous too. So yeah, let me show you from a different angle all these papers one more time. I know, if not, she should. I believe she does, but you'd have to. I know she's had kind of a health challenge thing going on recently, so I'm not quite sure where she is with all of that. I know, Shannon, it is super cool. So that's the cellophane you're looking at. I'm going to put this card back in this cellophane bag so I don't mess it up. If you're just joining me, this is artwork and inspiration courtesy of Laraine Centineo. You can find the description, or you'll find the links to her channel and so forth. You'll find the links to her YouTube channel is what I linked down there. So there's one. And, you know, you can put cardstock underneath it. Let's just put a colorful cardstock under it just so you can kind of see what happens, you know. So there's with a pink cardstock under it. And here's with a lime green under it. So you can get the idea of what I'm talking about how you can see through it. There's that one. This one is not very transparent. And there's another one that's with the lime green under it. There's with a darker green under it. And there's with the pink under it. So you can see how the color will shift. I know, it's just amazing the effect that you can get just simply by changing it, because you do maintain, if you don't paint it solidly, you can take advantage of that translucent aspect and completely change it. So there's with the dark green under it, like Kelly green. It's not dark green, kind of a Kelly green. And there's with the lime green under it. So you can see that. And then I'll pull out the greens and let you see the pink one more time. Isn't that cool? And then this one is the one that has the metallic paint on it. And so this one, and because it's got black, I think, as I recall, she started with black and then put the metallic over it. But it's been, like I said, it's been a while since I watched her videos. So, anyway, I did want you to see those. So she shared all of that wonderful goodness with me so I could share it with you. And so let me put this stuff away. And then we'll keep going. So did you like that? Did you think that was fun to see? I thought it was just too good not to share it with you. To take the time. I have the biggest mess going on around me. I should, here. Any of you that stream will know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is what's beside me on the floor. There's my calendar, there's my planner. This is for today. This is Lorraine's pile of goodness down here. There's my inks in case I need to get to those, and so forth. Yeah, so, And before you see any dust bunnies, I'm going to stop that nonsense. Stop that. Okay, the last time that we streamed, I did this. This was from Tracy Verdugo's book, Paint Mojo. And so this was what we did last time. But I have a confession to make that I didn't like the one I did on the stream, and so I redid it. So this is version number 2. This is version number 2. Okay. So this says your wings take you. So this is the second version. It's very similar to the first one. It's just, you know, there was this moment. I know none of you have ever done this before. But there was this moment where I made this fatal decision, and I went one step too far, and I went, and now I have totally destroyed this thing. Yeah, so black gesso to the rescue, and then white gesso, and then there you go. So anyway, there's that one. So the original butterfly that I did now lives under this. And so I decided to do one in the opposite colors because this was all the warm colors. So the original butterfly lives underneath this. And so it got transformed into a dragonfly. And so this was the second one. So I just wanted you to be able to see that the two different... I'm just going to put them like this. So you can see the difference in the colors if you do warm colors or more cool colors. So there you go. That's what we did. Yep. Sometimes you just go one step too far and you go, oh, whoops. And this one says simple sky travel time. And you know why they say that? Those are not deep and profound thoughts in my head. Those are because that's how many stickers I had left in my big chat book. And they were the only ones that I thought might work together. So I went, oh yeah, I can do that. Okay. Shall we make some art? So we make something creative? Yeah, true. Robin says, love the dragonfly. A true metamorphosis. You're right about that. Okay, let me switch gears here. Get all my stuffs. Hi, Ilona. Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining in. It's good to see your name in the chat. A little throat coat tea. Any of you that watch my videos or watch my classes, especially on the website, you just have to sometimes just plug your ears over the throat clearing, because after I talk for a long period of time, my throat just, you know, needs a little throat coat. Ah. Okay, a little tea. So I was digging, and I know none of you do this either. I was digging in my through my shelves and bins looking for one specific thing that I knew I had. But could I find it? Oh no. Oh no, I could not find it. And so I know that some of you are like this too. You will go back to the same place again and again because you're going to see if it's come back yet. Well, yes. So during one of the forays in the digging, looking for something, it was quite small. It was a little thing like this. And I am pretty good about knowing where my stuff is, or at least knowing the general area where it should be. Oh, Ilona, we're doing great. I'm glad to see you. So I was looking for this little bitty thing. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The third time I looked in the place where it should have been, it was there. So it did come back. In fact, things do come back. I just hadn't taken all the stuff out of the bin. I was digging through it and looking, you know, instead of taking it all out, thinking I'm saving time. Anyway. So, in the process of digging, I unearthed a bag of pictures that I had saved when I had gone through my parents', I don't know how many photo albums they had. They had dozens of boxes of color slides, like Kodachrome or Ektachrome or whatever slides, you know, color slides that you had to put in a slide projector. And then they had dozens of photo albums of prints, like color prints, and some that were black and whites as well. My parents were born in 1911, so that tells you that they saw a lot of changes when it came to just photography. We'll let everything else go, but yeah. Anyway, so and Robin says, very reassuring news, Barb. I'll keep looking for lost for the lost stuff. Yes, sometimes it comes back. All right, so what I found in my stack of pictures is I found this bag of pictures, and at first I looked at them and I'm like, why did I save these? And then I remembered that I saved them to use them as inspiration. So I'm going to show them to you. So these are, all of these pictures were taken either by my dad. Most of them were by my dad. He was a florist. He taught flower arranging and floriculture and so forth at the university. Trying to keep the reflection off these is going to be tricky, and holding them, but we'll do the best we can. So these are amaryllis that he grew in his greenhouse. He had loads of amaryllis, and he loved to take pictures of them. This, I believe, is a night blooming Cereus. Let's see, it's not labeled on the back, but I think this is a night blooming Cereus. And I probably don't have it the right way around. Let's see. I think it actually goes this way. Sorry for the reflection issues. I know, it is a good mug, isn't it? Yeah. I love those mugs. I have 3 of them. One says inspire, one says imagine, and the other one says dream. And they came from the grocery store. Cheapest place on earth. At Christmas one year. My husband got them for me for Christmas. So this flower, if I have the right flower, only blooms at night for a very short period of time. And so when it bloomed, my dad photographed it at length. Night blooming Cereus, I believe is what that is. That's another amaryllis, another shot of the amaryllis. And one of the reasons I kept these was not only was there a color change, but, you know, he was good about getting different angles and so forth. And this, I believe, is a bromeliad. I'm not entirely positive, but I think he's shooting down into the center of a bromeliad. I just thought that was the coolest picture. And I really want to do something with that, but I haven't done it yet. Well, I lie. I tried a little bit last night, but I was too tired to make it happen. And then lilies, and these lilies were in front of their house, I believe. So those were some of the pictures. These are the ones that didn't make the cut for me to work on, but I just wanted to show those to you. This is one, actually the night blooming Cereus or whatever it is. I did do a little something with that. Let me grab that picture again. Okay, so this is a close-up of one of the lilies. It's a close-up of these. Oh, that is a bromeliad. Okay, thanks, Vicki. So there's that. Was I right about the night blooming Cereus? It is. Okay, CB confirms that is correct. Okay, I thought I remembered that. So there's the lily. Sorry, I'm digging with one hand. And this was also in my stack. And this was my puppy dog. Her name was Wendy. She was a boxer. Boxers don't tend to look quite like this today. First of all, most people now don't crop their ears. And she looks stockier than she actually was, but they were a stockier breed at that point too. Anyway, Wendy was my companion. We grew up together, and so they got her when I was a baby and she was a puppy. So we grew up together, and I had her until I was in junior high, which was a pretty long life for a boxer at that. Well, any boxer. So what I did, I decided I was going to do something with these. So these were the 3 that I worked with. This one was not successful. We will talk about that. These 2 were. So here is what I did. I'm going to take you through the process. This is an artograph, and this is a light pad. Okay, this one happens to be the 930. I bought this from Amazon several years ago. This one is a 9x12, I believe. They do have one that's bigger. Yeah, this is a 9x12. I decided to go for the smaller one because the big one I decided was just going to be too hard to store. And I bought this used, and I paid, I don't know, less than half of what you would normally pay for this size. But the artograph is a light box, except it's a pad, meaning it's thin. Now I know that there's some very inexpensive light pads out today. I don't have any experience with them whatsoever. I do have a really cheap light box, but it's hard to use because it's small. This one, well, you can put an entire sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper on it, and the lighted area, it's big enough you can work with it. That's the point. Okay, so here's what I did. I took my photographs and I put my photograph on here. And I'm not actually going to light this up because it's hard to show on camera. And then I took a piece of tracing paper, and this is tracing paper. there's all different brands. This was the last one that I purchased. It also comes in all different sizes. I have some that are a great big sheet of tracing paper that I use for fabric art things. And I took a piece of tracing paper, which I use this stuff a lot. It's much different than like deli wrap or tissue paper, so it is not the same thing. So I would encourage you to use, if you're going to do tracing, get tracing paper. And I put the tracing paper right over it, and then I turn, for just a second, I'm going to turn the light box on so you can see. No, you can't see. It's going to blow the camera out. So you're just going to have to use your imagination. But turning the light pad on it will illuminate through the photograph even more so that I could make out the lines even more to trace the major lines of the dog. So here is my tracing of the dog, okay? So I just traced, and I did it with a pencil first. I used a mechanical pencil, okay? So this is just a mechanical pencil. And this happens to be the one that I like the most, and it is the Pentel Icy. There's a million different mechanical pencils out there, I know. This is the one that I like the best, and I'm going to show it to you just because somebody's going to ask. It's the Pentel, Pentel, Icy. It's ICY, and it is 0.5. And the reason I like it is because the lead is pretty hard in it, and it doesn't break. I hate lead in mechanical pencils. It breaks all the time, and I don't want anything real thick and goopy. I want something that makes a thin line. Anyway, so there's the dog. So I traced it with a pencil, okay? And then I went over my pencil lines with the Micron Pigma pen in a size 01 or 02. All right, so there's that. I did the very same thing with the picture of the lily. Let's see if I can line it up. See if I can line it up the way that I traced it. I think this was how I traced it. No. Okay, it's got to be one of those. See, this is what happens. Here we go. Okay. So there's the tracing of the lily right there. And because the petals went off the picture, I just made them up. My boxer's name was Wendy, W-E-N-D-Y. Yeah. She was wonderful. So there is the picture of the lily, as best I could trace it. This one right here is the tracing of the bromeliad. So it's a good it's a cool tracing. It wasn't hard to trace, but it was hard to turn it into what I wanted to turn it into later. So it kind of hit the bricks. And then this is that night blooming Cereus, which again got X'd out, and I don't even know which way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time hunting for this one simply because I didn't use it anyway. Okay, well, it's not exactly it, but you get the idea. Okay. All right, so I have tracings of the things that I wanted to use, mostly these two. Those are the ones I worked with. So I took my tracings, and I have a printer that has a scanning device in it, and so I scanned these images into my, and it's a cheap, it's like $100 printer with a scanner on it. And I scanned these into my computer because that way I have more control over the sizing. And then I sized them up to whatever I wanted to size them up to, so I could, you know, get the idea of how it was going to work. So I did this in the computer, okay? And I did this in the computer. So I scanned it and took it into the computer just so that I had something big enough to work with. Okay? So far, so good. Are you with me? Are you with me, people? Yes, you can. Yes, that's another idea. Becky says that you can trace things by taping them to a window. You absolutely can. But if you work like I do at midnight or later, the light through the window doesn't work so well. Okay, so that's what I did. And then I turned these tracings into this. So this is what I did. I used my big tracing here, or my big image that I took out of the computer. And I went through my scrapbook paper, of which I don't have a lot. Claus Man might disagree with that, but I really don't have a ton of scrapbook paper. Let's just pull one out. We'll take this. Yeah, I don't know. Let's find a different one. How about these polka dots? Now this is the paper weight. This is not cardstock weight. This is paper weight. Okay? And you can also use your iPad, etc. for tracing. There you go. Okay, so I put this, I've got to block out all this light here. Let's see if we can block out all the light from the light pad. Because I'm going to show it, turn it on. I would really like for you to see what I did. So I'm just kind of blocking out the excess light, I hope. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it very well, but maybe if I hold it down. There we go. Now, it's blowing out all the color, but all I want you to do is just get the idea of what I did. So I held the scrapbook paper over my enlargement that I did in the computer, which was not hard to do, and then I traced the body. Okay, I just traced the general outline of the body, and then I took another piece of paper and traced the general outline of her head. And I glued them together, and she became a colorful dog. Okay, so she became a colorful dog. So this is scrapbook paper, two different scrapbook papers, and I glued them together, so I've attached them together. And then I did the detail work using these paint pens. So these are the Diane Reevely paint pens. So I used the black one to put in her eyes, the line, because they have a very distinct line for whatever that's called, in the bridge of the nose or whatever. I did her nose, some little whisker dots, her tongue, and then I made the divisions for her legs and her tummy, and that's it. You couldn't see her tail. She had a little tiny stubby tail anyway. And then I used the white one and put in the sparkle dots for her eyes. And that's it. I wanted her to be pretty, what shall we say? Pretty, well, I don't know what the word is I'm searching for. I want stylized, maybe that's the word. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted her without much detail, but I wanted you to be able to see that indeed she was a dog. And so the inspiration, it started like this. The progression went like this. Photograph. Tracing. Okay, so photograph, tracing, scanned into the computer and enlarged inside the computer. Now, there's other ways to get there from here, but that's how I approached it. And then I turned her from there into this colorful dog. But this is pretty big, right? She's pretty big. So, and I also wanted her to have more definition than just that pale scrapbook paper. And so I glued the whole dog onto a piece of black cardstock. There's nothing fancy about this cardstock. It was inexpensive stuff from a craft store with a glue stick. So I used the Elmer's Extreme glue stick so that it would stay, you know, it would go down as flat as possible. Okay? Are you with me so far? Are you with me? Hi, Debbie. Yes, like cartoon drawings. Yes. So it's glue put onto the black cardstock in one piece using a glue stick, and that was that. All right, now I went back to my computer because I don't want to do this every single time. Now I did do another one. I did version number 2 out of other colors. So I did her in 2 different colors. And I did the pale colors just because it was just so different. Yes, ma'am, we're with you. Okay. So I scanned each of these back into my computer. And that way, what that gives me is control over the size. Easy control over the size. Because I don't want to do this all again every single time. And I forgot to put her whisker dots in on this. We should do that. I forgot to do that. Okay, now she's okay. Now she's got whisker dots, which you probably can't see, but I can. So I put them back in the computer. And then the next thing I did, I started playing around with what they would be like if I printed them out on paper or printed them out on cardstock. And when I printed them out on paper, they were too flimsy. So I printed them out on cardstock. So now these are slightly different in size because I purposely made them a little bit smaller, and I just did that easily in the computer. So these 2 are printed on cardstock, just an inexpensive cardstock. And so the colors reproduce fairly well. They get lighter, a little bit lighter, but that's the size that I printed out. And then I just cut on the black line. So even though these have been applied to black cardstock, these are just, this is one single piece of cardstock. Okay? So far, so good. Tammy wants to know what my opinion of the black and white Diane Reevely pens. I really like them. I have the set, the colored set, this set so far. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of them. I've had really good luck with them. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. But then I wanted to be able to make smaller cards, because these would work on a 5x7. You know, the reason for working big is because it's easier. And then when you go smaller inside your computer, it's just easier to go smaller in the computer than it is to do it yourself that way. Cutting little bitty things is a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so then, not to be outdone, I reduced them again inside the computer, okay, and printed them out again. So these 2, the color is about the same, printed out, but I just made them a lot smaller so that I could put them on smaller note cards. And the same thing with this. So I now have smaller little windy dogs, and bigger windy dogs. While we're talking about the Dylusions paint pens, what I want to say about the paint pens is I have a video that I'm going to be doing about a different brand of paint pen, but I talk about paint pens in general. So I'm going to give it to you here too. When you're working with paint pens, read the directions about how they are intended to be primed. I did not have any trouble priming these. It did take maybe a minute. I don't know. I've had others that have taken much longer than that. But I followed the directions, and that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you're gonna mess up any paint pen if you don't follow the instructions about how to prime them and how to use them. So, and then we get mad at the manufacturer, and we get mad at the product. And really and truly, a lot of the time, it's on us because we didn't read the directions because we think we know better. Yeah, guess how I know that? Guess how I know that? Okay, so there are, these again are printed on white cardstock. It's not a super heavy cardstock, and then I just sat down and cut out a whole bunch of Wendy dogs. All right, so here is the process I used for the lily. Okay, the lily was traced from the image. Okay, traced from the image. So I started here, and then I got the image with the tracing, scanned it into my computer, and it became big like this. Much easier to work on something big like this than to try to work on something that's smaller. For me, you guys might be just fine. Okay? Hey, Mary. I do have the fine line paint applicators. I do have those, and I love them. And I use them a lot. I use them a lot. I use paint pens a lot. I try to use all my supplies. If, you know, sometimes I forget about them, but I try to use them. Okay, so here was my, what I printed out from the computer, so it's bigger. And I numbered the petals here because I was trying to figure out how I was going to keep track of those. And then I made the flower, the lily, using just different colors of yellow papers that I had. So everything is on here is yellow paper except for this piece right here and this piece. This was yellow cardstock, and this was a yellow jelly print because I wanted different ones for each one just for fun. So I'm going to show you this one up close so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so here is the lily. And then this is fiddly stuff in here. And this was on a big size. You know, this one, the size of this measures across 6.5, 6 3/4 inches. Okay. All right. And these little bits in here, those were some jelly print or some paste paper things that I found that had the right color. And then I cut little stems. This is fiddly stuff. And then I glued them all together. And to make the lily, because I cut the petals and I left a gap in the middle accidentally. So I took a hole punch and I punched a piece of yellow, a hole punch, just a circle, and then I built the lily petals on that yellow circle in the middle because I had to have something to glue onto. And then I glued with the glue stick, put the whole thing on black so that I could get that black outline around the outside. Okay? So that's what I did. All right, then back into the computer. I scanned it back in the computer, and I printed one out so I could see what it looked like. So there's what it looks like when it came out of the computer. It's a little bit lighter in color, but not enough. If you don't see the original, you're never gonna know that that was really that much different than this one. And then I put them back, played around with it, and figured out that I could do two, make them smaller. So here's the original size. Could make them smaller, again, to go on smaller cards. But you see, you do all of this work. You can do all of this fiddly work, including putting them on the black cardstock to get that black outline around them. You can do that once, and then you can put it in your computer if you have a printer that has a scanning function, and then you can print them back out. And as I said, mine is an El Cheapo printer, scanner. Cost me $100. It's an HP. Okay, so that's the process, right? And then I just sat down with my scissors and I just cut out all kinds of lilies and dogs. All right, so now I've got myself an assortment of things I can use, and it's in the computer, so I can use it again from my computer and not ever have to do all the work again, especially on this little fiddly stuff. And so from there, guess what happens? You can make yourself a card. And so that's what we have here. So this is one of the cards. And this is the small size dog. And then you can alter them in whatever way you wish to alter them. So she got a little tiny heart done in red gel pen. And then to outline it, I used this hybrid Pentel Arts Hybrid Technica. It's size 0.03. It's a tiny little nib, and it really worked nicely for that. I learned about those from Janet Young, Monkey Island Madness. And then this is from one of the Tim Holtz Word packets. And that's that. Okay, so there's that one. Now, when I made the original dog, when I built the very first original dog, can you see the blue shadowing around it? Kind of that turquoise, and then up here there's a pink. That's done with the oxide inks. So I just inked around those pieces before I put them together. And then that reproduces when you print them out. You don't have to ink them again. Look at me thinking. Yeah, look at me thinking. All right, so that's one card. So then we can take this one, and she doesn't have her whisker dots because I forgot that, so I'm going to have to put those in. I'm going to have to put some whisker dots in here. Because, you know, they have those, and I forgot them. And so on this one, I decided that I wanted to have her have something in her mouth. And so what I did was I drew this little flower on cardstock. Let's see if we can you see? That's a separate piece. So I drew that little flower on cardstock and cut it out. It's nothing more than, again, I have an assortment of about 1 million different colors of inexpensive cardstock. And I cut out the little flower, and I cut a stem out of black so that it would show up. And then, to get it to look like it's in her mouth, I took my craft knife. So imagine with me that this is on a cutting mat. And I cut with my craft knife. This was after she was all cut out. I cut right along that line right there. So I literally opened up her mouth. She didn't mind. She didn't mind because she knew she was going to get to hold the flower. And then I took a little tiny piece of black cardstock, a little sliver, and I slipped it up in there so it went between her tongue and her upper jaw, her upper lip. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it actually has a tiny little bit of dimension from that. And you see how it's kind of flipped up just a little bit right there? So it looks like she's holding that flower in her mouth. She looks like she has on pajamas. Yeah. Hi, Carol. So it's just something to do. Now, I may go back with a colored pencil and I may it's hard for me to have something that's floating in the air. And so I may go back and scribble in, you know, with a darker shade of pink, a little bit of ground for her to sit on. But then again, I may leave it. So this one has a piece of pink cardstock attached to whatever this ugly color of card base is, just because I like the way she looked on it. This one does not have a mat. This one is just the card base. I always work with plain card, with pre-folded, pre-done card bases. I don't take the time to cut and fold my own card bases. I like the colors, but I like having the white insides for writing notes. So, but do you see how once you get these done, and you just sit down and just cut out, especially if you start with a photograph that's yours, that is your inspiration. You sit down, you take the time to make the image, you know, and, you know, like this. I started out with the big image, and then I sat down, I cut them out and scanned them, and then printed them out, cut out a whole bunch more just on white cardstock. Then you've just got things that you can make cards. You can reinvent them the way you want. You know, if I could make a bone, I could put a bone in her mouth. I mean, you know, you can just play with them. And I like the fact that it's not super duper realistic. Okay, so remember we took, I took the yellow lily. So this was the original right here. So that's the original lily. And this is the copy, okay? So this is the copy done on white cardstock, printed out. And then I put it on this brilliant purple card base, okay? On this brilliant purple card base, and then just put little things on it. And the only thing I did here to make it different was I wanted those stamen or whatever they're called to pop out a little bit more. They're pretty fuzzy here. They pop out a little bit more. I just used a brown gel pen and I just outlined them. That's all I did there. And on the flower, the card with the flower, I used one of those sparkly gel pens, the crystal star pens, so the center of the flower has a little bit of sparkle. So that is another way to do this. You could just as easily have taken, I don't know if I printed out any of the big flowers. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I printed out one of the big flowers. And you could just as easily for something different. So this is another card base. You could cut this one out. Let's see, are these the same size, and attach that to the front of your card like so. Okay, so attach it to the front of the card. And then once it's completely dry, go back and cut off the parts that stick out. Okay, so it has the same appearance or similar appearance as the original photo, which was like this, where it goes off the edges. Okay, so you could do that. You could use the bigger image and have more image and less card, or you can have a smaller card and or the same size card base but a smaller image, right? Okay. So there's that. Now, I'll show you one that didn't work. Don't you love that? Oh, why not? Why not see one that didn't work, just so you know? Find the picture here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. So this is the one that didn't work. So not everything you do is going to work. So here is the night blooming Cereus. All right. And then I traced it off. Okay, so I traced it off the picture, and then I put it in the computer and I printed it out on cardstock. And then I started messing with it, trying to get it to work. And, well, first of all, my colors were a very bad choice of colors. And it was driving me crazy. I kept trying to figure out how to do it. And if you do something like this, divide it into major layers. So this background, the very background where the spikiest petals are, that's one layer. The next layer, this pink that has paisleys in it, that was the next layer. This was the next layer, and this was the final layer. And I used the black pen to kind of differentiate the petals. I was trying to do something that was light colors, because just doing a whole bunch of layers of white or off-white paper doesn't look great. But, yeah, I completely missed on the colors, and so I went, nope, that's for another day. It's like, I'm surprised I even showed it to you. But sometimes you got to do that. You got to show people. It's like, yeah, this works, that doesn't. The bromeliad, I love the picture. Okay, I love the way that this picture looks. I haven't quite sorted out. I started playing with it, but I have not sorted out yet how to make that work. I think that would be a really cool card, but I was under too much of a time pressure at about 2 o'clock this morning. Yeah, use them on packages, absolutely. But the cool part about these is that after you do the work on them, whatever it is, so start with your own thing if you want to. I mean, nobody else can say, well, you stole that dog from me. It's like, no, I didn't. It's my dog right here. Here she is. If you start with your own picture, your own artwork, and you're just simply changing it, you're going to have an endless well of ideas, an endless bank of ideas. Use whatever illustration you want. And then it's a matter of, once you've got a bunch of them in your computer and you need a card, today or tomorrow, then, print them out and how can you make it look different than the last one, because you can make them all look individual and unique. So, what else? I think that is it for what I have to show you, so I just printed out, more. I know the colors aren't reproducing at this point, but just so you can see. So I have a stash. I have some windy dogs, and I have, some flowers already printed out. And then I have another set of a couple more flowers printed out. So I'll see what else I can do with those. And then I'll just sit down, and while I'm watching TV or something, and I'll sit down there and use my scissors and just cut them out. I did edge around the very edges to get rid of the white cardstock. I'll show you that. To get rid of that white cardstock edge, I used the Pitt pen. This is my favorite pen for doing stuff like this. So the Pitt, Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, the big brush pen. They also have a small one. Either one is fine, as long as it's good and juicy. When you do this, when you edge things, keep the right side of the item up and put the bulk of your pen below your item. So the tip of the pen is just working on the edge. That way, if you slip, which you will, the slip goes on the back and not on the front of whatever you're edging. Because all I'm trying to do here is just to color the edge of that white cardstock. See, so the black is, the edge is now colored there. If I turn it over here, you can see the white edge of the cardstock. It's a subtle difference that really does make a difference. But just always hold your item with the right side up and the bulk of your pen underneath. Yeah. And that is, it will just make your artwork look a little more sophisticated, shall we say. Okay, does anybody have any questions? If you do, pop them in the chat. Very retro, I know. Hi, Scotty. If you have questions, pop them in the chat in case I missed you. And if I missed any of your questions, I do apologize. I try to watch the chat, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes I miss it. So I think this would be really pretty. That color combination could be really pretty too. And I do like the idea of cutting off the, letting the petals run off the edge so you have a bigger flower on it. I like that too. So, any other questions? If not, I guess we're going to get out the sponsors, and I've lost my list of things that I was going to go over with you. Oh, one other thing I want to show you before we go. Gotta find my brain here in a minute. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. I have to remember. You know how difficult that can be, some of you. This is the cardstock that I printed off. It's not anything fancy. This is the cardstock that I used to print these on. This is the Paper Studio. This came from Hobby Lobby. And I'm sure they had it on a sale because they run this stuff on sale all the time. But what I wanted to show you is, see if I can get all the little dog feet out of the way here. This book I did a video on recently on YouTube, and it's just a quick video. It's like 10 minutes long, a review on this book. And I just want to give you a quick look at it again. I don't get, it's no big deal to me whether anybody buys it or not. I just think it's a really cool book. It is intended for young readers, and I like to put myself in that category. But it's just got some of the neatest things in it, and the whole premise of this book is to get you acquainted with some of the great artists, the fine artists, and tells you just a tiny little bit about them, and then to take some pages from their art or some inspiration from their art to encourage you to think about how that artist created art and what you could do to inspire yourself based on that artist's different unique style. But just all kinds of fun stuff, And then there's paper in the back that you can cut. You can spend time coloring. But it would be a good thing too if you have a child in your life, whether it's your child or a grandchild or a neighbor child. It would be a good thing to have something like this. The paper's not fancy. It's kind of a high-grade newsprint. To have something like this and do with them. When my grandkids were little, I tried to always keep things. We didn't see the kids very often. And I tried to have special things that they would look forward to do with me, and that is some of the things that they tell me even today. They'll say, my favorite memory is it didn't have to do with art, but one of the things we did one year, they were with us for New Year's Eve, and so our special New Year's Eve thing that year was they were picky eaters. And so I took them to the grocery store and I said, each of you get to pick out a fruit. Now, here's the deal, because I knew what they were going to do. They were going to pick out the strangest looking things there, right? Something they'd never tasted before. That was the deal. They had to get something new. And I said, you have to taste it. I said, you don't have to swallow it. You don't have to chew it up. You can spit it out if it's terrible, but you have to taste it. And so we did that, and then we bought a couple of bottles of sparkling grape juice. And so everybody got to stay up that night, and we did a toast in fancy glasses after we did and we did fondue with the weird fruits. And then we did a toast at the TV as we watched the ball drop in New York, and with the sparkling grape juice or sparkling apple juice or whatever it was. And just this Christmas, my granddaughter said that was one of her favorite memories. So, you know, having things that you build traditions or unique and special things with children is a really great thing to do. And having books, and when the kids would come over, sometimes we'd make Play-Doh, and, you know, they remember that, and just, you know, things like that. Get their hands into things and help them build those memories. You'll be surprised at what they remember. So, anyway. There's 2 books, too, by the way. There's another one, and the other one by the same artist, let me tell you, is called Let's Make Some Great Art. So this one that I showed you is called Draw, Paint, Print, like the great artists. The other one is Let's Make Some Great Art, both by the same author, and the name is spelled M-A-R-I-O-N. The last name is D-E-N-C-H-A-R-S. I don't know how to pronounce them, so that's why I spell it. I know how to say Marion, but dentures, I don't know. So, anyway. Hello, Jane. Okay, so let me clean up my stuff here just a wee bit. And I still haven't run across my brain. It's here somewhere, lurking. I'm telling you, by the time this is over, everything turns into a crazy mess around here. But I can't recommend this art pad enough, or something similar. I love it. I use it when you need something to be able to see through. There's nothing. I mean, a window is great, except every time I would tape something up on the window and try to work, either my hand would go to sleep or get tired or something, you know. The art pad, I can go sit on the couch and work with it. It's just really cool. Okay. Had to make room because you know who's coming out, right? You know who's coming out. Those of you that want to see him, the sponsors, we'll see if they want to make an appearance. So I'm getting cat cam ready here. And then we're going to take off. So if you have any last questions, hey, Liana, if you have any last questions, stick them in the chat. I'll get the sponsors. Do you want to come out? Okay. All right, come here. Here it is, sponsor number 1. Yes. Did you wash your face so you look pretty? Did you wash your face so you look pretty today? Hello, Charlie. Hello, Charlie. How you doing? All right, let's see if we can get this. Here we go. You gonna come up? You gonna come up and say hello? Come here. He's going to cough, so if he coughs, I'm not going to put him up here. I'll let you see his pretty face, but once he starts coughing, then I'll bring him down. There he goes. He has no teeth left in his head. Chance has a few, and that's that. Oh, they're so funny. Yes, they are funny. So remember to go subscribe to, or check out and subscribe to Laraine Centinneo's YouTube channel. You'll find that all that information is in the description box below the video. And I tried to put everything down there today that I talked about pretty much. And the VIP class is tomorrow. I will get the email out as soon as I'm done here, so you'll have the link and information to that. And I think that's it. So, yeah, you see what he's doing. He's trying to get me. He's leaning off the table trying to get me to pat him. He's trying to get me to pat him. He's such a pain. Anyway, yes, there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway, I try to put all the links in the video below, the description below the video, stuff that I talk about and so forth. And that's it. So I will see you April, I think it was 6th. I think that's what I told you. And the plan is for Seth Apter to join me, and we'll do something that day. So be sure you mark that on your calendar, first Friday of April. And in the meantime, if I have something else to chat with you about, I'll come back on. We'll do an impromptu, but no guarantees on that. Things are really crazy right now. So thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to get creative, because you know, as I always say, and it's true, it's easy. I will see you next month. So you guys have a great weekend, a great month. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.